Japanese drug laws are a bit draconian. Not quite war on drugs level of pointless severity or Singapore levels of barbaric, but still kinda stupid. Couple that with a fairly rigid social order and a minor conviction for possession is enough to derail someone's entire life. From my outside perspective, this is stupid, but that's something you kinda have to put up with if you move there. As they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Needless to say, there's been a couple scandals involving drugs in NPB history, most recently with current Atlanta Braves pitcher Jay Jackson, who got ratted out by his ex in the middle of a custody battle. However, the most consequential was that of Dick Davis, and it was so consequential, it was suspicious. Dick Davis joined the Kintetsu Buffaloes in the back half of the 1984 season and was immediately an impact piece, hitting .310 with 18 homers in just 78 games. His 1985 season was monstrous, hitting .343 and belting 40 home runs, enough to put him in a tie with Koji Akiyama for second in Pacific League. This gave him the first and only Best 9 award of his career. He'd hit 36 homers while batting .350 in 1986, and still only 32, Davis was on track to become the best foreign hitter the Buffaloes ever had. And he kept up the contact hitting in 1987, leading all foreign players with a .337 batting average. He was also by accounts a pretty good teammate, mentoring Yoshiaki Kanemura and charging Osamu Higashio after he felt he'd taken too many liberties with his teammates. 1988 was looking to be the year. The lines were starting to fade, and the Buffaloes had built up an impressive hitting core. Dick Davis, Ben Oglivi, Takehisa Suzuki, and Yoshiaki Kanemura looked to set Pacific League on fire. Through the first third of the season, Davis did just that, hitting .303 and belting 7 home runs as the Buffaloes were solidly in second place coming into June 7th. But that morning, Buffaloes fans got terrible news. The Kansai Drug Control Office raided Davis's home on suspicion of possession of marijuana. The police found a pipe in his home, and trace amounts of weed were found in his urine sample. The announcement that he'd been charged with possession was enough for the Buffaloes to demote him and begin the process of canceling his contract. Davis, however, remained defiant. When the Buffaloes' interpreter Yoshitaka Fujita went to the police station to help Davis with his interrogation, he found him doing push-ups and ghost swings in his holding cell. Davis was indignant, claiming that he'd been racially profiled and was ready to return to the team as soon as this matter was sorted out. After 2 weeks, the Kobe district prosecutor decided against bringing charges against Davis, claiming that while he had broken the law, he wasn't a smuggler or dealer and thus wouldn't face jail time. He would, however, have his contract and work visa cancelled and would be subject to deportation. That night, he flew back to the US, never to return. The Buffaloes would end up lucking out in the end, acquiring Ralph Bryant from the Chinichi Dragons. All Bryant would do was rake for the next 6 years, becoming a face of the franchise and joining the pantheon of foreign Buffaloes stars, while Davis is scarcely even mentioned by the press as a result of his arrest. The natural question is, how did this happen? Well, there are 4 theories. A teammate ratted him out, a neighbor ratted him out, a racist cop with a hunch caught him lacking, or a rival team ratted him out. The first possibility is almost laughable. Davis seemed to be a well-liked guy and was a strong presence in the locker room despite being a foreigner. Anyone who would do such a thing would likely be shunned by teammates for getting rid of the team's best hitter, even if Bryant turned out to be better. The second and third are probably the most likely. Casual racism in Japan is still very much a thing, and any foreigner who moves into your neighborhood is viewed with suspicion. In my own personal experience, my aunt covered the Nagano Olympics for NBC in 1998, and she felt like the hotel staff were going to burn everything she touched. It's not inconceivable that a neighbor could have caught a whiff of marijuana and immediately phoned the police. The fourth is the most conspiratorial. The Kintetsu Buffaloes' rivals, the Hankyu Braves and Nankai Hawks, hadn't taken their little brother's rise to prominence very well, nor had the dominant Seibu Lions. Kneecapping their offense by taking out one of their 2 foreigners would have been the easiest way to put them back in their place. So they looked for a way to get them, noticed Davis liked the ganja, and ratted him out. This is admittedly a stretch and a half, but there is a small contingent of Buffaloes fans from that time who believe it wholeheartedly. Still, Personal opinions aside, what happened happened, and Davis never returned. Bryant was the better player, and the Buffaloes kept chugging along, just losing the pennant on the last day of the season. So, was it worth it?